What's up, guys? Welcome back to the SadFCDfans podcast. I am your host, Matt Dool. I'm joined by my two beautifully handsome co-hosts, Joe and Walter. How's it going, guys?
Not even better now that you said we were handsome and beautiful.
You can Venmo me.
That adds a little more spice to it, you know.
Yes, it does. A little spicy.
Feels
Cinco de
special
Mayo
now.
spicy.
Oh, it is Cinco de Mayo while we're here.
Get some margs and some
Let's get some,
tacos.
deal
Everybody
spicy.
just calm down with your Latino temperament. There's too much of it in this. Dude, I literally made. Like, I know the word cringe is overused nowadays, but like it literally was my reaction listening live to that and seeing or hearing that.
That was to
You were watching
Di Maria's red card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you watching it in Spanish or did you...
Yes, I was watching in Spanish.
I guess, yeah, because that way you can just watch it on TV, actually. I
Yeah,
pay
you
for
can just
Paramount
watch it on
Plus.
Univision. Yeah, you have to pay to listen to people like Alexi Lawless and Taylor Twellman. We don't.
That sounds awful.
We get the goats, man. We get the goats on the national broadcast in Spanish.
And it's actually really good in Spanish, too. So I missed that whole debacle. I got to see it on Twitter.
He's a really good announcer, too, that guy, Jim Begland, where he's one of the best color guys. And I guess it's just
That's racist.
something that he just thought wasn't a big deal. And what was the funniest part to me was the apology afterwards, he thought it was for saying the word Latino. That's what people are mad at. I was like, I used the word Latino when referring to Di Maria. It's like, I don't think I think the producer in your ear told you the wrong thing that people are mad about.
Yeah.
And then he had to put out another one and he apologized. It's all right. But it definitely brought to light the stereotypes that are so often used in sports for different races. My favorite one has always been anytime a white guy shows any kind of speed, mainly in football, that he's always sneaky athletic. That's always my favorite terminology.
Hardworking.
Yeah,
hardworking.
and when a white dude is like a dirty player, he's a no nonsense kind of guy. That's always the one they use. He's a blue collar, no nonsense kind of player.
A lunch pail type of
Yeah.
guy, right? Brings his lunch pail to work.
AKA he 2-foots everyone and doesn't complete a pass with less than 10 yards. He just boots it up the field and tries to break legs. He's a real no nonsense kind of guy. Anyway.
Yeah, let's just keep going.
Anyway, enough of European Champions League. I guess, Walter, you're a Chelsea fan, aren't you?
I am.
So it's a good day for you.
Not a good one always, but yeah.
Not a good one.
Today was a good day, man. Any day you can beat fucking Real Madrid. It's a good day.
I remember my dad taking me out of school to watch the semifinal whenever the year Chelsea won the Champions League. When I was in like elementary school. I don't know, what year was that? That was 2000.
You were in elementary school when that
What year
happened?
was it?
Oh, 2012?
2011 or 12.
Oh, okay, never mind. Then that was a different. No. My dad took me out and they lost to Manchester United in penalties. That was for that. Never mind.
Damn.
I was definitely not in elementary school for it when they beat Bayern. I was in middle school then. Maybe. No, yeah, like 8th grade.
I remember going to an FCD game like drunk after that. I feel so fucking old.
When I saw them lose when they lost to Manchester United in penalties, we went to Toyota Stadium and we were in like the club. They were doing a watch party there, so there were plenty of Chelsea fans and Manchester United fans. So that was fun. But
Shout out to Conte.
Shout out to Conte, yeah, the most lovable man in world football, with the most beautiful smile. And really just deserves nothing but the best. It's hard not to root for that guy. I can't imagine anyone hating him. Anyway, he's what Brian Acosta thinks he is in his head, I think. Sorry, I had to get in at least one Brian Acosta shot.
One time.
It wouldn't be a podcast without a Brian Acosta shot.
And he's playing well right now, actually, too.
Yeah, he took a shot the other day from outside the box that missed wide, but it didn't hit the players sitting up at the top of the Hall of Fame. So he's in form. But no, he has actually been pretty decent. I guess we can talk about that more later. But let's see. So since the last time we recorded, we're 3 games into the year, and man, about as roller coaster of a start to a season as you can get. I mean, literally, you had one of each. You had a win, a tie, and a loss. First game, obviously, a 0-0 tie against Colorado. Not really a whole lot to get into in that one. FC Dallas may be fortunate to get away with the point in that game. They never really created many chances, and if it wasn't for Jimmy Maurer, they probably give up a couple goals in that game. Second game, obviously a lot worse in San Jose. It was 3-1, and then 3-1 was. I was going to say that maybe it was a fortunate scoreline, but really FC Dallas should have scored a couple goals in the first half, and they ended up regretting those missed chances, and San Jose pounded it on them, and FC Dallas tried to put up a little late fight, but it was way too late. But they scored a goal, so there's slow progress.
Yay.
Pepe got a goal, and it was enough to earn him a start the next week. And FC Dallas faced Portland this past weekend. Must be said, a very depleted Portland lineup, to say the least. In fact, the term like B team is kind of thrown around a lot by people. It's just like anytime they rest a couple guys, they're going, "Oh, it was our B team" as an excuse. No, that was like legitimately a Portland's B/C team. They had their
C-team, yep.
they had their third string goalie in, who was like 17.
It was a disrespectful lineup.
Dude, I was literally going to tweet the other day. I was like, "Damn it, I forgot to make a disrespectful joke about Portland's lineup last week." Like I just realized it 4 days later. But yeah, I guess we can go more into the San Jose game a little bit, as obviously that one is the one where kind of maybe that was something that they needed to, just for the sake of making them realize they need to make a change. And we saw FC Dallas in that game go with that 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, whatever you want to call it, and just didn't look good really in any. Well, I mean, they had chances in the first half, like I said. Hader Obrian had a little Timo Werner in him that day and had two glorious chances. Hey, he scored today. But I genuinely think 99% of human beings could have scored that. And I'm including blind people in that 99%. So, but yeah, what were your overall thoughts on that San Jose game, Walter?
Swift kick in the ass. I think, like you said, that was needed. I know Lucci's still trying to figure out the key formation, or kind of, have a backup formation depending on, the opponent, but it was very bland. Like, there was no imagination. Whatever philosophy or whatever type of play style they were trying to execute, nothing was going on. And I mean, it's always tough playing in San Jose, historically speaking. For as long as you followed the team, I'm sure you guys know how difficult San Jose is for whatever reason, or really any traveling venue. And then they got Cade, somebody like Cade Cowell, who's blown it up every single week. Yeah. You're probably going to get scored on a couple of times. So just bland overall. And I mean, that's really it. It was just bland.
Joe, what are your hot takes on that San Jose game?
The hot take was obviously just that the formation wasn't working. If we want to even go back to the first game against Colorado, the formation worked somewhat well, but Colorado just never really took full advantage because of Jimmy Maurer. And then if by the time the 70th minute of that Colorado game should have happened, we should have pushed forward and maybe gone for a win. But hey, that's the first game. The second game happens, and you still kind of have the same issues. And instead of us capitalizing early on, they capitalized, and then the whole thing just unraveled like crazy. For a formation that just wasn't really working from the beginning. Once we switched back into like a 4-2-3-1, you could see things were kind of flowing the way they usually flow. Then we were able to score a goal, but like you said, it was too late. Then we were forced into changing that into the third game, but I'll get into that later. Or we can get into that later. I just think San Jose is a team on a roll before we knew they were going to be on a roll, and we were just the first victim of it, kind of, with an ugly formation.
Yeah, I think watching them lose to Houston week 1 had me underestimating them a little bit. But since then, they beat Dallas, and then they beat the hell out of DC, I think like 4-1 this past weekend. Yeah. So, I'm starting to think, I was thinking this after the San Jose game. I was like, maybe beating the hell out of Houston in the last preseason game was like the worst thing that could have happened to FC Dallas, just because, we're all feeling good after that, and they're thinking, oh man, this formation's is going to work so well. And then they go into the first game and they like Joe said, it wasn't terrible, but they didn't create really any like clear cut chances. They had a couple like half chances. And then second game, obviously, like you said, just fell apart for them. But I mean, at least Lucci had the presence of mind to just realize, look, this isn't working, and something's got to change. And hey, I mean, benching Hara for Pepe is a ballsy move, and I think a lot of people didn't think he had that in him. It's not too shocking considering there are plenty of times where FC Dallas need a goal and they take Hara out of the game. And like last year, obviously the famous, or I guess infamous, where Hara comes off, didn't really shake Lucci's hand, and Lucci didn't take very kindly to that and grabbed him and chewed his ass out in front of everyone. So I said this to someone. I said, if he's willing to do that in front of the entire team, then I think he's willing to like not start him for a game whenever the only guy who has scored for the team through 2 games can start over him. But we'll see if that continues into this weekend against Houston. If I didn't think Pepe had a very good game, honestly, against Portland. I thought for sure if FC Dallas was going to score 4 goals in a game that he would get one of them, but he didn't. And he offers so much different things than Hara, in terms of Hara's more of like a hold-up kind of guy, and he can get combined a little bit. You prefer him to be closer to goal, but it seems like Lucci likes him playing as like a hold-up kind of striker, and Pepe's just not really the guy to combine too much with other players. He's kind of got a little bit of a sloppy first touch and stuff. There were several times throughout that game where they'd play a pass into him and he'd try to lay it off to someone or control it, and it would kind of go flying away to the other team. But he gives you a little more speed than Hara, obviously, and I think he might be a better finisher right now than Hara, which is a lot. It's saying a lot.
You would have told me this 2 or 3 years. Yeah, if you would have told me this 2 or 3 years ago, I would have been like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
I gotta say,
Hara can't finish. Yeah,
we gotta give a little shout out to Joe, who he picked Dante Sealy as his one of his breakout players of the season, and I didn't say anything during that podcast, but I remember thinking, I was like, all right. But hey, man, he scored a goal on his debut, and it's too bad for him that his first career goal was ruined by one of the worst calls of a goal I've ever heard. Did y'all hear that one of the dude, go Lasso? He yells after.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Oh, the new guy. That's right.
I guess that was oh shit, the Stars, Mavs, and Rangers are all playing on the same night. We really are running low on play-by-play guys.
If we're talking
get one of you guys.
Dude,
I want to add to the point that Sealy had been on for like no more than 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So that his first touches of the game were a goal, which is.
Hey, we got to give some credit. It was a pretty good assist from Hara too. It was outside of the foot pass that put it exactly where that needed to be, and ended up being a pretty easy finish for Sealy. But shout out Joe for a little Dante Sealy call, or a Dante Sealy prediction. So even if he doesn't score again for the rest of the year, Joe, you still have this moment to look back on. And I'm trying to think.
It feels good. I'm glad. Also, we had to shout out Paxton for that pass to Hara.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
A really great turn, great ball over the top. But that's the thing too, is that even though Pepe is starting, his build-up play and passing is nowhere near Hara's, which is kind of like if you could just give Hara the mobility Pepe has, he would be the perfect striker.
Yeah, I know. We could just combine the two into one guy.
Yeah, just super unlucky. I hope this is hopefully promising for Sealy. He might be the next player that we sell. Who knows? He's young enough. He's quick enough. He just doesn't have like the stamina to play 90 minutes, or maybe the composure to play 90 minutes. But hopefully, he's kind of one of those players that picks up minutes over the season and actually becomes something pretty productive for us. But we'll see. I just wanted to bring up: did Lucci get it right by going back to the 4-2-3-1, or was he forced because Hedges wasn't going to play?
That's true. Yeah, I guess I forgot about that. I have a feeling that he probably would have switched back to it either way. I don't know. I can't imagine seeing those first two games and then it seemed like pretty much everyone was in agreement, like, hey, this isn't working. So I don't know. I mean,
hopefully
he switches between those formations a lot already anyway. So who knows? It's hard to tell. I mean, hell, he may play three the back this weekend for all we know.
Yeah.
Well, Bresson's not going to be here for the next, I think, 2 weeks because he's getting his green card.
Apparently, that fell through to where he's not going until like June or July. So he will be here for the rest of the games this month. But next month, he should be gone.
Actually play though for MLS rules, considering like his
the green card thing.
Status with
the green card thing will just make him not count as an international player anymore. So once he gets a green card, it's really just like he can play obviously now. He just counts as an international player. Once he gets a green card, he no longer counts as an international player.
I'm sorry. I didn't know if that was for team purposes, for team roster purposes, or because we got Shun coming in the pipeline. Or,
I think if it was like a visa issue, it would be a problem with where he wouldn't be able to play.
Gotcha.
But so I think from what I've heard, Matt is getting better, and he could play this weekend. I'm in the camp of take your time with it. There's no need to rush anything in the fourth game of the season, especially if Bresson scored a goal and looked really good the other night, and everyone was saying how good he was against San Jose, and Martinez looked strong the other night, and I think Martinez is probably the one who's kind of more likely to be the consistent starter, just since he's the only one who's left-footed of the three, and that left center back spot is kind of really he's the only. I mean, I guess Bresson could play there, but he seems to be the much more natural fit there, and his passing out of the back. I mentioned this in this.
It's really good.
The first episode, just from what we saw in preseason. He's a hell of a player, and I'm really glad they managed to pick him up. Plus, he's really good about responding to you if you ever send him anything on Instagram. So I sent him he posted like his after the game. He was like the calm after the storm, just of like the field with like the lights turned off. Mm-hmm. And I just said "Vamos, Jose," and he responded with a little flexing emoji. So he's a nice dude.
How'd you like Felipe in the goal?
Dude, Felipe got an assist, and allegedly it was his weak foot too on that punt. Apparently he's a righty. Paxton says, dude, he's a right footer. And I was thinking about it.
Paxton went straight to Instagram and was like, let's talk about the fact that it's his left foot, though.
He weak-footed a punt beyond midfield perfectly into the stride of Obrian to chip it over. A goalie assist is rare. I think FC Dallas was the first one since Kevin Hartman, like 2011. But to do it with your weak foot in a game where I think he hadn't even made a save yet by that time. Yeah. I don't know if he made a... No, I guess he probably.
Well, I mean, and I think that's what the narrative was trying to be pushed was. It was his MLS debut, I believe, and he hadn't even registered a single save. Like, period. I think was the stat that was trying to be pushed, which I think is pretty cool.
I think he played once last year against Minnesota in Minnesota because Jimmy he played once last year.
Okay, never mind. Throw that out the window then.
But it was his like second start ever and the first time, and I guess he. Oh, that's not a start, but he did. I forgot. Yeah, Jimmy. We didn't talk about that, but Jimmy was out since he's hurt. I think they're saying he should be available this weekend. I think he probably walks back into his starting spot just since Felipe did get a goal, but really like the only time he was tested, he got scored on the Portland goal that they did score. We did mention how weak that Portland team was, and so that's why I think it's important that no one overreacts to that result, just since you saw what happened at halftime. Portland made 4 changes. At halftime. And they brought on Valeri, I think Bobasi, Espria, and someone else. Another one of their starters.
They brought a Bobasi later on. Okay, it was Valeri, Espria, Williamson, and Van Rankin.
Williamson, he's a beast, yeah. Williamson's the one who scored, too.
Yeah, and of course with the Valeri assist, and then that's the kind of guys that do stuff for you.
That game changed quickly, and all of a sudden all the momentum was with Portland. They got a goal, they had a couple other close calls, and I had a really bad feeling until FC Dallas scored that fourth, because if they would have made it if Portland makes it 3-2, I had a pretty bad feeling that they were going to go ahead and grab a third, and just because the momentum seemed all all the way tipping the other way, and that's why that fourth goal was so huge, and it's part of the reason why you saw so much celebration from the Dallas players for a goal that made it 4-1, and also, it's Sealy's first career goal, but that was pretty cool to see how fired up everyone was. But yeah, I don't think we can overreact too much. I don't think it's safe to say FC Dallas is back or whatever about that result. But I mean, through 3 games, 4 points isn't terrible, and for what we can all agree has been a pretty bad start. I mean, hey, there are plenty of teams where if you tell them you're going to have a bad start to the season, but you're still going to come away with 4 points from 3 games, they probably take it. So FC Dallas, I think they're in 7th right now, which is a playoff spot. Obviously, it's too early to be worrying about standings, but it's just a good indicator of where things lie now. But yeah, this weekend will be interesting to see. We'll get a lot of lineup questions since I guess the Brisson thing kind of cleared up some, but Hedges' availability and Jimmy's availability and what they do at striker. Joe, what do you think FC Dallas is going to do this weekend, or what do you think Lucci's got up his sleeve for this weekend? Do you think he sticks with the Portland lineup, or do you think he changes things up?
I feel like he would probably stick with the Portland lineup. I think maybe the major change would be Hara up front, just because he saw that Pepe didn't get a goal, and Hara is. I mean, if you bench him for 2 games in a row, he's our mega DP salaried type player. So I feel like there might be some locker room issues right there, but I can see the rest of the team being the same, and even giving the rationale that like Matt's just trying to get a little bit more rest or something. But yeah, I can definitely see it being the same. Plus, you kind of run it back after you win 4-1. It shouldn't be too surprising.
The old "if it ain't broke, don't fix it" approach.
Yeah.
Walter, what about you? Do you think Lucci sticks with it, or do you think he changes it up?
I think the formation stays the same. Obviously, like you said, the players are still in the air as to who's going to fit where. But the back four is still kind of going to be a question mark. But I still, unfortunately for you, I think they still start Acosta. Tessman, his service is phenomenal. I love what I'm seeing from Tanner Tessman. Vargas had a couple of good looks. Obviously, Obrian with his goal last week, and kind of that speed. Definitely going to be useful against Houston. Ricarte, obviously, that whole sequence in the first goal and him getting a goal.
That was a great goal. Yeah.
Huge. And it's a shame that there's no such thing as like MLS Play of the Week, because that was beautiful football. It was all precision football too, which is fantastic. But other than the back four, I think we're still going to see a 4-2-3-1. Yeah, Hara's in, I believe, especially for a derby game. Yeah. That's the kind of guy that you want. So, but who knows? I mean, he could be out by the 60th minute, and we'll see.
FC Dallas's first 2 goals against Portland, I don't think you could get 2 goals that are more different in terms of how they were scored. The first goal is nice passing and combination play, and then a guy finishes it from 6 yards out. The other one is literally a corner kick. The goalie punts it completely to the other end, and they score. They chip the keeper. So, literally, could not be more different of goals. But
see, Marco Barrios would have made that goal.
He would have or wouldn't?
He would not have.
He would have blasted it right at the keeper.
And I think that's going to be key against the Dynamo, which Dynamo historically, I think they've had some changes in their back line.
Yeah, they're playing Boniek as a center back now.
Yeah, that guy's played everywhere.
And apparently he's been playing pretty well. I think he made team of the week in the first week as a center back. They got Boniek back there. I mean, he can't be any worse than Figueroa. So
no, he can't be. So Obrian, man, I'm loving that upgrade too, because I think he's. I mean, Barrios. You take Barrios down, his speed maybe a couple of points down, but you make up for it in finishing, and you got Obrian. So
yeah,
who knows?
Yeah, I think for Obrian's goal, I think the Portland keeper might have forced his hand a little bit into he definitely helped Obrian, where the keeper was so hesitant. He's like, do I come out or I stay? Or he's just standing there in no man's land, to where Obrian's like, all right, dude, the ball is bouncing for him. He's like, I'll just tap this over your head, I guess. But yeah, I think that as far as Houston goes. Let me check to see. I know they won their first game, and have they lost?
They tied against LAFC last week.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That was in Houston. They tied, but so that's what 4 points through. Yeah, Houston and Dallas are literally next to each other in the standings. Fun. I have a feeling that I think FC Dallas takes care of business at home against Houston. I think the last couple of years have been pretty good indication of how it'll go. FC Dallas seems to lately kind of dominate Houston, especially at home. We've seen some pretty good beatdowns recently, and I don't think it's not going to be like a 5-0 or 5-1 like we've seen sometimes, but I think FC Dallas pulls out a result. I'll give a prediction just because predictions are fun. I'll say 2-0. 2-0 to Dallas. Y'all want to throw out a prediction for fun just so I can make you look stupid if you're wrong?
I'll let Joe go first.
Well, I hate the Houston thing because it's either a 0-0 boring, ugly draw, or it's like one team wins 4-1. So for the sake of this podcast, I'm just going to say FC Dallas wins 4-1. And Pepe gets one, Hara gets one, Vargas gets one, and then we get like a random player getting one, like Hollingshead or something.
Like Sealy?
Or Sealy. That would be the sickest.
Super sub.
Actually, this is what's going to happen. Sealy's going to come in a 0-0 game in the 90th minute, and he's going to score 4 goals.
And he's gonna go run to the camera and point at it and yell, "This is for you, Joe."
Yes, sir. No, I'm excited. He's going to be a good player.
I'm calling 2-1. It's just it's so hard to try to base it off the preseason game.
Yeah.
I've watched more Houston in the past couple of weeks than I care to admit. They got that Pasher kid.
Yeah, is good.
I keep talking about him. That dude's really, really, really good. Like, it's a shame that, if Kate Cowell wasn't in the picture for MLS right now, I think it would be Pasher. So, he's you got Pico in Houston now, and I can't cheer against Maxi. So I don't know. It's tough.
He'll inevitably score, of course, against Dallas, just like he did last year.
And then he'll just do the
and then he'll they'll have a chance to tie it up with 3 guys running in on goal, and he'll shoot it from 35 yards out and take out a child in row 34. And then him and Brian Acosta came from the same school of shooting.
I can't really gauge them off of the preseason, and it's FC Dallas is still trying to find their rrhythm. I was think
gonna say,
so.
you can't even tough, man. You can't even really gauge FC Dallas off their first 3 games either. So it's hard. It's hard to tell.
It's tough. It's tough.
And I also don't want it to be one of those things where we do blow out Houston, and it just feels like fool's gold that everything's okay when we played Houston and a depleted Portland team back to back. But either way, I'll be excited to get 6 points out of 2 games. So.
Yeah, a win against Houston feels good, no matter how good they are or how bad they are.
Yeah,
I'm trying to see who.
It's a toss-up, man.
Who does FC Dallas play after Houston? Minnesota, is that right?
Huh. I mean, that should be another win too. Maybe Minnesota's not doing too well.
I think it's in.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's.
Or we're
I think
the
it's
slut
in
buster.
Minnesota.
Who knows?
Yeah, we could be the slump buster. That would be very FC Dallas.
We could be the slut buster. So,
Minnesota, there's no way that they're as bad as they've started. They have too many good players for that to continue. I don't know. Maybe Jimmy punts one into the crowd and gets their whole team. Oh, we didn't talk about the great Ryan incident on
oh man
on the other night. Man, Portland fans lost their fucking minds about that, and it's funny because a lot of them are the same dudes who were crying about or making fun of Minnesota fans who were crying about the guy punting the ball or Ochoa punting the ball into the crowd after the final whistle, and then now they're acting like Ryan shot Savarese in the chest on the field just by. So apparently Ryan said that he tossed the ball at the side of his head, and then when Ryan, because Ryan, I think right before Ryan kind of got into it with Williamson, because Williamson was holding on to the ball. I don't know why Ryan was trying to fight to get the ball back when FC Dallas was up, so it's not like Portland's wasting time. But Ryan was just a little spicy on Saturday night. In the first half, I saw him react more to a missed call than I think I've ever seen him react, where he got right up in the ref's face about a missed call at the other end of the field, and then they called a pretty soft foul on Acosta. And I'd never seen him so fired up with the ref, and he almost got a yellow card in the first half for dissent. But I guess he carried that in the second half and didn't take too kindly to Savarese tossing the ball at him, and Portland didn't seem to take too kindly to Ryan fake throwing the ball at him as one of those good old 20-man, everyone act like they're going to do something and sue right after.
I mean, you got to give it up to Gio too. Cold as ice, man. Didn't even flinch.
Hey, Kobe did.
Yeah, it was like the poor man's Kobe right there.
Yeah.
Well, the poor man's Kobe right there.
I never would have ever thought that the 2017 Humanitarian of the Year would be threatening coaches on the side.
Yeah, dude.
Who would have thought, man? 2021's a weird year, man.
I liked how FC Dallas just randomly tweeted a video of Ryan and just the 2017 Humanitarian of the Year just to push Portland fans' buttons. That was funny.
Yeah, that's good social media right there.
Yeah.
That is.
Man, I was looking at Ryan's Instagram, and there's a bunch of Portland fans who found his Instagram and were leaving comments about, oh, this is what a good Christian man you are. But I was like, oh my God, relax. He fake threw the ball at a guy who was standing right in front of him.
Portland fans and Seattle fans are worse than Atlanta fans, in my opinion, just because at least Atlanta fans are funny. Yeah. And they have more jokes. Portland fans and Seattle fans just get butthurt over everything.
And they make the same jokes. Every joke is a 10-net space. Every team that isn't them.
And just because there's like, you know, a good amount of them, obviously, it's just like it just pops up everywhere. But it's like, relax. Yeah. Both people weren't really in the right, and both people weren't really in the wrong. But at the same time, if you've ever played the game and you've gotten a ball tossed at you sideways like that, it doesn't look like it's much, but you understand what the person's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
Nobody tosses the ball at somebody's head. You usually toss it at somebody's chest. But at the same time, Ryan doing that, you know, getting caught on candid camera is just going to make him look like a huge asshole. Either way,
it's not
I
like
mean,
it was a ball
it's just
kid
part of the
who
game.
threw it at Ryan. It was the coach of the other team, so he's going to react, you know.
Yeah, and the coach yapping at you the whole game is going to get things fired up. So, I mean, either way, everybody's fine at the end of the day. But the people taking it too personally online, please go breathe some air. Go walk outside.
Or go play a couple of games of soccer and see what your reaction would be.
Yeah, people.
If that happens too.
Yeah,
it's the heat of the moment. You got adrenaline going. You're up 3-1, 4-1 at that point. Then it happens. I'm not trying to justify it. Like you said, nobody's in the right, nobody's in the wrong.
It's worth.
Nobody fucking got hurt.
They did both. They did both shake hands right after. Like it's just.
Yeah,
they
did. Like he was like if he was really offended by it, he would have retaliated in some sort of way. I'm sure. So, but the motherfucker's Italian. He's a hard ass motherfucking Italian guy. You know.
He's like, hey, motherfucker.
Hey, guy.
That's what he said to Ryan. He said, "Hey, I'm walking here. I'm standing here." And Ryan threw the ball at him. That's what happened.
Where's the gabagool? Am I right?
All right, guys. Now we're no better than Jim Beglin with all these stereotypes now.
Okay, you're right.
Shout out to Sopranos, though.
Latino.
Sopranos is a great show.
It's that Latin temperament.
But
yeah. Ryan's a good dude. Everyone knows that. Like Joe said, if you've ever played the game, shit like that happens all the time. I got called a little turd by a coach whenever I was like 10 because I told him, you know how like there's just there's no limit on subs when you're a little kid, and so he was just subbing like crazy at the end of a game, and I said to him, I was like, how many subs are you gonna make? Because it was clear he was just like killing time, and he's like, I can make as many subs as I want, you little turd, he said to me. And I remember after the game I told my mom, and she went and chewed that dude's ass out right in front of everyone. A little angry 5-foot Hispanic woman stood up for her kid. God, I keep going back to the Latino temperament, but maybe Jim Beglin was right. We mentioned earlier, I guess we should touch upon, we talked about the looming Brisson green card. So keep in mind, FC Dallas did trade for a international spot. They traded I think like $225,000 in Garber bucks to get it. So FC Dallas should have 2 international spots open soon. the MLS window is still open. Obviously, you know, a lot of the other leagues, their windows are closed, but FC Dallas can bring players in. And we did have one player arrive, obviously one that we already knew about, as Walter mentioned earlier. Shun is here. They were posting pictures of him at the game Saturday night, and I've seen some pictures of him training. I don't think he's really training with the team yet. I think they're just kind of seeing where he's at fitness-wise. He should be fine fitness-wise because he literally is coming off of his season. So that's good for FC Dallas, and it's unlike Hara, you know, where there was a break between when he could start playing. Oh, I guess COVID happened right whenever he signed. But
yeah,
Shun's coming straight off his season with his former club, so he should. They're talking about like he could maybe even be in the squad against Houston, so that'll be interesting to see. Maybe see him make a debut if FC Dallas gets a lead, and you know, a good no pressure situation to throw him on there. But is there anything you guys would like to see FC Dallas do with those 2 international spots available? Walter, what are some areas of need you think for FC Dallas?
That's tough. That's okay, I'll defer to Joe because I actually hadn't thought about that. Just because, and I'll tell you why. Just because after seeing Felipe this week, I think we're okay. Keeper wise, I thought he was pretty good. I mean, as a self-proclaimed goalkeeper myself, Joe's better than I am at that. But
yeah, I'm a decent keeper too.
But
three varying levels of goalkeeping on this podcast.
Yes, exactly. and so you look at the back four. You can Manjoma did pretty good. Like a lot of it, it's hard to say because. And Steve Davis touched on this during the broadcast after the game. Was it was against a depleted Portland team, but Lucci did a very good job of at least making the most out of that situation by playing Manjoma, by getting Paxton some minutes, by getting Sealy in there, getting basically everybody more additional minutes, getting people to kind of get in that mentality, that how do I put it, to kind of get the wheels rolling essentially. And so, praises to Lucci for that, getting his team forward. It's hard because when you look at all the positions, I could tell you what we don't need. We don't need a CDM, I would say, considering
a six or I would say we need a six.
I wouldn't say you would. I mean, maybe I would say maybe more a box to box than a six.
I would say we have too many boxes. Cerrillo is really the only six on the roster as far as like naturally. I mean, Tessman's playing there, but Acosta is definitely box to box.
Where would you put Tessman then? What would be Tessman's ideal spot?
Ideally, he would be as a box to box, but they have no real seat. I don't think Cerrillo is ready yet. And you could see he came on the other day and had a couple shaky moments where he gave the ball away in really bad spots and put the team in a bad spot. So, and we've seen obviously that Lucci doesn't have the most trust in him. So I'd say that's their biggest area of need, and then maybe a right back, just because someone to challenge Munjoma, because really Munjoma's I guess Tumasi, they say they could play right back, but I mean, if you've got the international spots, I think we're all kind of done with Ryan at right back. I think we realized, and then you play him at left back, and look, he gets an assist the first 2 minutes into the game. So
weird.
Yeah. So what were you going to say, Walter? Were you going to just say like a midfielder of some kind? A
midfielder of some kind. Yeah, yeah. That's a hard question. Thank you for that,
Joe.
Well, hypothetically speaking, if we could bring a player on, I would say we need an upgrade on right back. Yeah. We needed an upgrade, hypothetically speaking, like a game changing winger and a game changing number 9. Those are the types of things that would put this team over the edge. But the way that this team is spread out, just like funds wise and player wise, instead of having one super all-star level player at midfield, we have like 6 really, really good midfielders. Yeah. And the same thing in our back line, same thing in our wing spot right now, to where we have like 7 wingers, but none of them are really like a top 10, top 5 winger in the league. but we have like 6 MLS starting level wingers on the team, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So roster construction wise, I'm a little confused as to why we're opening up all these international spots. And my gut reaction is that we are probably going to go for that CDM just because we just dished one out. And I don't know where the other one would possibly go. I would like for them to get an upgrade at right back if Sonata finds somebody in, Argentina or Brazil that can play that right back spot and be dynamic, and we stay with the back line, like a back four, then that would be kind of the ideal situation, because Hollingshead as a left back, easily top 3, top 5 left backs in the league. And when he's playing at the right back, he just looks lost. When he's playing at a right wing back and a 5 back, he looks extra lost. I would just rather have him, his strength wise, playing left back. We get a right back that's actually MLS starter level before, Munjoma gets settled in, maybe even to Amasi. But those guys are just kind of fill-in players for now, in my opinion. We need an upgrade at right back, and if we could get I mean, this is my dream scenario, that we get a world-class number 10, because MLS is one of those leagues that are still held back to where we can't necessarily play a 4-3-3 pivot like a Man City type. But a lot of teams are really good at playing that 4-2-3-1 with like that central star at the cam at the number 10, like your Zela Ryans, your Pozuelos, your Diego Valeris. Those are the type of players that win you this league. And if you're going to play Ricarte there, maybe. But if we can get an upgrade there, that would be fine. And then Hara, I mean, he's making $1 million. He's a DP level salary-wise, but he's not a DP level player. In my opinion, he just doesn't have the legs in him. So those would be my main spots.
Dallas DPs, though.
But I would say that about Acosta. But I mean, right now, currently in this current form, because we've seen him play like terribly over the past couple of seasons, I'm gonna give him his flowers right now and saying he's playing great right now, because that midfield trio of Ricarte, Tessmann, and Acosta are basically the Bermuda Triangle, where if a player gets in there, they're not going to get out with the ball. So I'm really okay with that right now, but I would love just an upgrade at that right back spot, I guess, is the most optimistic view for it, in my opinion.
Yeah, you guys know I'm number 1 Brian Acosta hater, but I will give him credit that he has had a good start to the season. I worry about that midfield of Tessmann, Ricarte, and Acosta defensively a little bit, just because Ricarte and Acosta both have the tendency to just go flying into tackles and leaving out of position. Ricarte loves a slide tackle more than I think any player I've ever seen, in terms of like he plays defense like people who aren't very good at FIFA play defense, in terms of they just slide all over the place. That's Ricarte, where like there's a guy right in front of him and he just gets on the ground for no reason and tries crazy slide tackle, and he's bound to get one of them wrong eventually and probably get a red card or something. But and Acosta, like whenever you're trying to press, he's the perfect kind of midfielder to have, because he's quick, and that dude doesn't pull out of any challenges. I don't think Brian Acosta's ever shied away from a 50-50 in his life. He is a wrecking ball in the midfield, which can be good in some cases. Like we were talking about Conte earlier. That's a guy who's like a wrecking ball. But Acosta also very much has the tendency to be out of control, and he's kind of a walking yellow card at any times. And once he gets that first yellow card, then he's pretty much a walking red card. And then Tessmann isn't. I think he's still a little naive defensively, in terms of like his spots as like if he's playing like alone as a 6 and like a single pivot. I think he's still a little cautious of getting stuck into certain tackles, but he's obviously so good on the ball, and the way he can just pass the ball to any spot on the field as a 6 is really like it's crazy to watch, with either foot too, to watch him just smack a 45-yard diagonal pass to either wing, left foot or right foot, on a dime multiple times a game. But I think, and it's tough too, because even on the bench you have guys like Paxton, and like I keep saying, Cervania is going to be back soon. So you got to think he probably fits in somewhere. And I think we all would love to see Paxton be a starter at some point this year. Then the question comes, where do you put him? We've seen him kind of play
where do you put him?
Winger and in the midfield. He was playing I think he played both for a little bit the other night. Once Sealy came on, he seemed to kind of move more centrally. I prefer him centrally, but I don't know, man. There's so many there's such a log jam in that spot where it might be easier for him to get minutes as a winger. But then now they got like 5 wingers on the roster, so
Yeah.
they have a lot. Like Joe said, they have a lot of pretty good options in different spots, but no
but nothing that stands up.
no clear cut like game changer guys. At least not yet. I mean, Vargas has had a pretty rough start to the year compared to like what we saw in preseason. You know, I think everyone, including himself, would be a little disappointed in how he started this season. But I think he'll come along eventually. Obrian, I think he's better than the way he started the year. I'd like to think that, you know, just from the numbers he put up in Colombia and the clips I saw of him in Colombia, that he's a guy who's going to score some goals for you. You know, he's probably not going to be a 20-goal guy, obviously, but I think he can give you maybe 7 or 8 goals a year. And
he gives you an option of not maybe so much of a holding, you know, or a playmaker, midfielder or winger, what have you. He's like his talents obviously are much different than Paxton on the opposite side, but that gives you a different option. So you're not 2015 or 2014 FC Dallas where you're just playing counter with, you know, speedster on the wings and that's it. So, you know, at least it gives you one option and not just the only option.
Yeah, him and Vargas are very different to where it kind of makes for an interesting fit, because Vargas is a guy who I mean, they're both pretty direct in terms of like to take guys on the dribble. Vargas isn't anywhere near as fast as Obrian. Obrian really gives you, like you said, that direct kind of option. I mean, hell, we literally saw him score a goal off of a punt from the keeper the other day, and you know, the only guy that maybe could have done that last year would have been Fafa or something like that. But
yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't do it to us this weekend. But so yeah, we hit on this weekend.
So what is your answer then? What do you think we need? If
right back,
what is our name? Right back.
Right back, and like an experienced, a Thiago Santos type player. If only we had one of those. Another guy like that, just someone who can just shore up the midfield defensively and let guys like Ricarte or Acosta or Tessman or Pamikal at some point, you know, get forward and not have to worry as much about their defensive responsibilities, because they know that there's a guy there who can clean everything up. And I think that'll just help everyone on the field. I think Thiago Santos was like a security blanket, or at a lot of times, to where he makes everyone on the field feel more comfortable and more confident knowing that he's there to break things up. And, you know, you can give him the ball in a tough spot and you don't have to worry about him losing it. But I think right back is huge too, just because I think Nelson could be an MLS starter, or maybe is an MLS starter. But then the problem is starting him requires, you're not going to bench Ryan, obviously, and then playing him at right back just kind of creates another problem. So it's kind of like creating one problem to solve another. And so I think if you can bring in a good right back and let Ryan stick to left back, where, like Joe said, he's without a doubt one of the best in the league, you bring in a guy at right back to, you know, maybe Munjoma beats him out, you know, but if he does, then oh well, so be it. You know, he plays it. That's competition's only going to make Munjoma better. I don't think he's as clear of like a next guy to take over as like Reynolds was for, like, when Reggie left, we all knew Brian Reynolds was going to take over, and we're pretty confident in him. I don't think anyone really has that same confidence in Munjoma yet. Obviously, it's early, and who knows, but you know, I haven't seen enough from him to think, all right, this is our for sure right back going forward for the rest of the season. So competition is a good thing, and this team has a lot of it already in a lot of spots, and those are just the 2 spots that I think that they need more of. And like Joe said, it would be great if they could go get a guy who's going to score 20-something goals a year as a striker, but it's probably not going to happen because they've got a guy in that position who's already a DP and making $1 million a year, and doing that would require you to probably bench him, and I don't think Dan Hunt really wants to be taking that L.
I don't think he'd appreciate it.
Yeah. He doesn't want to take that L. That's his guy.
he scored on us, so we got to go get him.
I wonder if Columbus is going to go sign anyone from Monterey now in 4 years after.
Hell yeah, they signed Layun, man.
I thought he was going to Austin. I remember when that was the rumor that Layun was going to sign for Austin.
Going to sign the Funes Mori in a couple of years.
Damn.
That's an FC Dallas kid.
Why couldn't we have lost to Monterey instead of Pachuca in the Champions League? Damn it.
Yeah, right. He would have came back home.
Layun at right back wouldn't be too bad for us, though.
How old is Layun now? Like 30?
His
mid-30s.
His legs are kind of gone, though, but...
Yeah. But he's a defender. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right backs are just like whatever.
It's whatever. It's MLS, bro. It's like, huh.
Yeah, we think play, right?
He's good. You think Higuain or the older Higuain's going to run past him? No, man. Hell no.
He looks vicious, bald, man.
He looks like what are those things that toy is a really old toy where like you drag the little hair around, it's the little magnet.
Willy
Willy. That's what he looks like. But you just put it all on the beard.
How are you gonna disrespect a man like that?
Willy, or are you going? Hey, I'm trying to think of the predictions we made in the first episode. We all agreed that
FC Dallas is going to win.
Chicharito is going to have a much better year. I think we're all feeling pretty good about that prediction already. He's got 5 goals through the first 2 games. He had 5. He didn't score against Seattle. Yeah, but hell,
nobody ever does.
Yeah,
nobody scores
5
against
goals
Seattle.
in 3 games is pretty damn good. And I mean, it's already twice as many as he had last year. So we already got that prediction right, guys. So if all of our other ones fall through, we got that. Walter, our Bobby Wood versus Hara thing is still up for grabs. As Bobby Wood I don't even think he's even arrived in Salt Lake yet, but he's still tied with Hara on goals.
Yeah,
Hara's in the lead though on the tiebreaker of assists. So
there's no fucking tiebreaker. Well, that's horseshit.
That's how they do a tiebreaker for goals.
That's horseshit.
Is assists for the Golden Boot.
We're going by hockey points.
Yeah, so he's got the most secondaries. Well, Hara's still up, considering Bobby Wood hasn't played, so it's kind of hard to get assist or goals. But
no, and seeing what Rubio Rubin or who is it? Which Rubin is it?
Rubio Rubin is the one who plays for Salt Lake.
That's right.
Diego Rubio scored a goal of the week for Colorado on that free kick.
Pretty good, man. It's pretty good.
I benched Rubio
Bobby
Rubin.
Wood might be out of a job.
I benched Rubio Rubin on my fantasy team. I was going to start him, and I was like, I'm going to roll with Pepe, and that ended up not working very well as Rubio Rubin scored twice. And I took Krylak out, and he scored as well. So
I didn't. I got I think 12, 16 points from him because I was like, they're gonna beat him. That's Damir Krylak.
I played him in week 2, I think, and then he didn't do anything, and I took him out, and he scored. So
while you guys talk, I'm gonna look at the fantasy real quick.
Let's check the league and see who's in first. I know that I think I'm still top 10. I was like 4th after week 2, and then I had a couple of guys do really well, but then dudes were either getting like 10 for me or like 1.
Yeah.
Because I smartly played. I got Mueller and Nani in my team because I knew Orlando was going to beat the hell out of Cincinnati. And I think they both got like 10 points since they both had a goal and an assist, I think. Because Cincinnati is awful.
Let's see. Where are you?
I think I'm 9th when I last checked.
I'm down bad. I know I'm like...
Oh, that's
I'm down bad.
Okay, yeah. You're 8th. You're 8th. That's
right.
good.
I'm in Europa League.
Well, I captained Vela the first week, and then I thought he was going to be healthy the second week, so I kept him in again.
I captained Rossi week 1, and he didn't play either.
Yeah.
He didn't play at all.
Yeah.
At least Vela played a little.
And then I captained Chicharito this last week, and he got 2 points. So,
damn.
Yeah, I'm down bad. I think I'm
down.
I think I'm like 75th, and there's like 76 of us or something.
There's not that many, is there? I thought there's like...
No, there's only 33.
Well, I'm probably like 30th or something.
Just 40th out of 33. Is that bad?
Yeah.
No, you're 26th.
Hey, there you go.
God.
You're out of the relegation zone.
Yeah. I'm almost literally the Stoke. I'm 17th. That's not good.
Joe's looking at a playoff, a promotion or a relegation playoff.
No, I made the same mistake that you guys did, and I had both Rossi and Vela week 1, and then none of them played.
Yeah, same such an LAFC.
Yeah.
Sorry, we had to get it.
They score points, man. Fuck.
No, they score a lot of points, dude. That's why I was just like, nah.
Yeah.
It's
Doesn't FC Dallas have LAFC coming up soon?
I hope so. I hope everybody's still hurt by then.
Oh, here's a bit of news. I guess we should mention it. FC Dallas is going up to 100% capacity June 19th, and that makes sense considering the email I was given where I said the league was gonna let them know in the next few weeks. Atlanta said screw it and I think they're at 100% this weekend, and they'll probably sell out.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, and that's a big stadium too, so that's a good 70,000 people if they really sell it out. Packed in there. FC Dallas, I think they've had sellouts, reduced capacity. Bless you. They've had reduced capacity sellouts the first 2 weeks, and dude, it was loud in there on Saturday night against Portland. It was really loud. El Matador and DVG were killing it, and having a roof above them makes such a difference in terms of the noise in the stadium. To where it was kind of cool to where behind me, I sit pretty close to them, but it sounded like there were drums behind me, like bounce, because it was just the sound bouncing off the wall back behind my section. So there's like sound coming from the side of me and from behind me. It was really loud in there, and all the people around me were getting into it in terms of clapping along and stuff like that. And obviously,
that's good.
Makes it a lot easier for people to be loud whenever your team's scoring 4 goals as opposed to
were the bougie people over at the Hall of Fame seats getting in on it too?
It looked like it. I looked over and saw some clapping and stuff like that. But yeah, right. People seem to really like the Go Dallas Go. That's always a crowd pleaser. That's
a tried and true banger, man.
I've suggested to a couple of the leaders of those groups that they maybe do it in like the 80th minute as opposed to the 90th, just because by that point all the casuals are like already leaving. So maybe if you do it in the 80th when people are all still there. Plus, it's like I think it really does provide a difference.
You can't really go in the 90th minute.
Yeah,
you're almost done. You need to go from the 80th minute so you can.
And you can feel the energy change in the stadium whenever it goes to where it gets loud. I'm sure the players feed off of it too, so they probably appreciate it in the 80th minute too, as opposed to the 9th. Like in the Colorado game, for example, like they do it in the 90th minute. I was like, well, it feels like the game's already over now. The other night it was fun still, and but yeah, it's loud, and I look forward to whenever there's. I'm not going to say 100% because let's be honest, probably not going to happen anyway. But whatever there's, maybe 15, 16,000 people instead of 8,000, I think that place can get really loud with the new setup down in the corner. Now that they're not so secluded from everyone else in the beer garden. I know that y'all like the beer garden, but I think as far as sound goes, that this is an improvement. But I could be just because I sit close to them. I don't know. I don't know how people.
Because you're biased.
Yeah.
Because you're biased.
As that guy on Twitter told me, that all they do is just complain and make noise for the sake of making noise. Like that's kind of the point of just to make noise. And he got really mad that I told him that maybe a minor league baseball game was more of the entertainment he was looking for.
If he's looking for people in costumes to run around the field,
and he was mad about cursing too. So I was like, yeah,
that's. Oh no!
I was like, you can go watch the Lego Movie with your kids. I didn't tell him that. That would have been funny though.
Did he have like a European jersey on by any chance?
Yeah, he's the kind of dude who wears his Zlatan Man United jersey when they play against the Galaxy.
No.
Well, all right. I guess we pretty much hit on everything. We'll try to be the reason it took a little while. I was really busy the week after the first game, and then Walter, you were out of town last week, right?
I was
in Vegas, turning up.
Hell yeah!
So make sure y'all donate some money to Walter. He lost it all on.
I lost it.
Roulette.
I lost it all on black. The salary that I got from this damn show, I rolled it all on black.
He's actually recording live from a box right now. He bet the mortgage too, and
in case you can't tell, there's a lot of bouncing around in this plastic container that I'm having to sit in, unfortunately. So if you guys can go ahead, if you DM me on Twitter,
I'll give you the video.
I need my money back.
I'll start a GoFundMe.
Pro tip, do not bet it all on black.
We'll start a GoFundMe where 50% of the proceeds will go to Gio Savarese's medical expenses, and the other half will go to Walter's now destroyed bank account.
Oh my God, Vegas is brutal. It was fun, but brutal.
Vegas, when Vegas gets an MLS team, that'll be a fun road trip for a lot of fans and a lot of players. I think too. I can't believe the NBA would ever, if the NBA ever put a team in Vegas. Oh man, if I were a betting man, which I am, I would pretty much bet on the Vegas home team every game, just because the players rolling in, the road players are going to be out partying pretty hard the night before. But yeah, I mean, I guess that pretty much wraps it up. Anything that I missed on that you guys want to touch on, Joe?
Joe, you good, man?
No, I'm good. Just Houston, Saturday, 2:30. Tune in.
Remember to flush your toilet so you can give a Houstonian some fresh water to drink. Yeah. Anyway.
Zoning laws or something. I don't know. What's the Houston joke there? Houston sucks. That's all I have to say to end it off. And,
Houston sucks.
And 2-1 FC Dallas. Matt Hedges coming on as a sub and then 90th minute winner. All right, guys. Peace.
All right.
Peace, everybody.